Hello, my name is Ernest Schwam, and welcome to today's. This is Dungeons and Dragons Bookkeeping. How to effectively compartmentalize, strategize, and organize your logistics to maximize the potential of your campaign. But first, what is Dungeons and Dragons? Dungeons and Dragons is if Dungeons and Dragons is a fantasy tabletop role-playing game originally designed by Gary Gygax and Dave Amison. It was first published in 1970. Since 1974, Dungeons and Dragons has been offering folks both young and old alike the opportunity to fantasize in a world of swords and sorcery. But there's a lot of keeping track to do. So how does one do it effectively within their campaign? Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look at a sample spreadsheet. Here we can see a template, an example spreadsheet set up for various different elements that you may need to keep track of during your campaign. We have party logistics, finance, and also some notes. Always good to keep notes throughout your sessions to keep track of what is going on. So let's take a look at just what kind of things we keep track of and how we keep track of them. First, we have a few things that we've picked up along the way that we'll want to make sure that we keep track of for each other and ourselves. It gets a little fast-paced out there sometimes, so you may want to make sure that you have a record of everything that you... Here we keep it. And why the color coding? The color coding helps us to keep track of what sort of items we pick up along the way. Green for potion, red for weaponry, and some other colors for some, those are diamonds. You may notice that along the way, I happen to strike through a number of elements within the sheet. Well, that's because, in a formulaic table here, I've outlined our finances that we picked up from a particular loot. Here in this loot raid, we see these numbers: quantity, expense, and grand total reflected within the party's finance. These things all accumulate to join us in our monies column here in gold. That way we can keep track of just how much we've made along the way. You'll also notice that there's rune stones, in this case very important items that we've made specific tables for, that we want to make sure that we're keeping track of throughout the entirety of the session. You see, if we don't keep track of those things, we may just forget how we got them along the way. So, thank you. Thank you for joining us here for Dungeons and Dragons Bookkeeping. How to effectively manage your session. With just a little bit of practice, you too can... It's that easy to just... Thank you.